please, please, please. Don't make me use my mom voice.
This review is brought to you by Mountain Extreme of Rockton, PA, meeting all your Can-Am, Ski-Doo, and Bad Boy Mower machine and apparel needs. Head on over to www.mtextreme.com to see all they have to offer.
There's no denying that the 50-inch side-by-side market is a hot market right now. With many of the trails in the United States still being limited to 50 inches, it's easy to see why. Well, earlier this year, the 50-inch market just got a lot hotter as Can-Am introduced the 50-inch wide Maverick Trail. So the question is, did Can-Am just slap a Maverick sticker on this hoping that it's going to boost sales, or is this a machine that's worthy to carry the Maverick name? Well, let's take a look at it here, and hopefully we'll determine whether or not it does live up to the Maverick name. Now you can definitely tell by looking at the front end of this that this machine is styled after the Maverick X3. The body panels fit nice. The fit and finish on Can-Am has always been superb, and that carries over to the Maverick Trail as well. Now one thing that usually plagues the 50-inch side-by-side market is because of the machine's narrower width, usually suspension travel isn't as good as what you'd have out of your sport and pure sport side-by-sides. But thankfully on this Maverick Trail, Can-Am manages to still get roughly 10 inches of travel front and rear by using dual A-arms in the front, and you have Can-Am's trailering arm suspension here on the rear as well, which helps eliminate the scrub you have from the wheels going up and down. They travel more in a straight up and down path instead of a coming in as the suspension flexes. And even though they only give you a preload adjustable shock on these from the factory, I mean, look at the size of these massive things. They should hold up to the trails that you might encounter very easily. And along with the 10 inches of suspension travel, the front and rear sway bars that help stabilize the machine, Can-Am also has stretched this machine out to have a wheelbase of 91 inches to help in the stability. So unlike your typical 50-inch machines, this guy is longer. Now that may hurt come some of the tighter trails like we have here on the East Coast. And sure, that's going to decrease your breakover angle a little bit as the machine's stretched out a little bit farther. But with 10 inches of ground clearance for most of your typical riding, you should still be alright. Now true to your typical Can-Am models, this is a machine where instead of sitting upright, you do set more down in. But one thing I want to point out here is the way this machine's designed, you actually have to take a pretty good size step up here to get in. Unlike my Pioneers where it's just a quick little slip in and out, this does take a little more of a raised foot to get in. But again, that helps you with the ground clearance and helps with that breakover angle being such a longer 50-inch machine. The interior layout of the trail is very nice and well thought out. With the limited space you have here in a 50-inch machine, they really used every inch of space the best that they could. They give you this nice bolstered tilt steering wheel that can adjust for any rider. All your switches are right here, well within reach. You have your 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive, your rear diff, lock and unlock, and your DPS models come with the sport mode and eco mode, and all that is very easy to get to reach. The seats in this are easily adjustable with a simple pull of a lever. You got lots of movement front and back to be able to fit any size rider. And as far as comfort, oh, you could probably take a nap in this thing, to be honest with you. You find a nice incline, point that front end up so you're tilted back a little bit. Oh, this would be an easy machine to ride in all day with the comfort of these seats. Another thing Can-Am does nicely is they give you lots of storage in this machine. You have a little storage box right here in front of the steering wheel, which would be perfect for a pair of gloves or goggles. You get a little cubby right here, and of course right above it is your 12-volt power outlet. So if you have a phone or something to charge, an MP3 player to charge, you can set it in here, and you got your 12-volt right there for charging. Nice big glove box here for the passenger side, and this thing is deep. You got a little cubby hole here as well, and ample blanks here for additional switches for any accessories you might want to run. Now you may be asking, well, this is 2017, where are all the cup holders? Well, Can-Am does give you cup holders as well, right down here at the bottom. Now I was a little worried when I first saw these, especially for the driver's side, that putting them down here on the floor, hitting bumps might cause them to fall out, and then you get under the brake pedal. That might not be a good thing. But what Can-Am does is these are actually rubber lined cup holders like you'd find in a car or truck that's actually going to hold your stuff in there good and tight. So a question a lot of you are probably wondering, being a 50-inch machine, how is the space in the interior? Does it feel cramped? Well, I would call it more of a cozy feeling than cramped. For someone my size, being about 5'10", 160 pounds, there's plenty of elbow room in here that you're not going to bump any elbows with any passengers you might be having. Now, no, it doesn't have the same amount of room a full-size Commander or Maverick has, but there are benefits to being a lot closer to your riding partner. It's a lot easier to get in there for a smooch. Now, you are slid a little closer to the edge, and the door is pretty much right up against your arm, but I think the benefits of having a full door definitely outweighs the snugness it has up against you. Now, as far as engine options, Can-Am offers two choices in the Maverick Trail. You have the 51 horsepower 800 and the 75 horsepower 1000. Now you may be asking, why when they make a Maverick Trail and a 1000 would you opt to get the smaller 51 horsepower 800? But I can see a lot of benefits to the smaller machine. One, if you're an East Coast rider like me where you do a lot of riding on the tight wooded trails, the smoother power delivery of the 800 is going to be more suited towards that. And not only that, but with a lower retail price of only around 11 grand, the smaller 800 is a lot more budget friendly as well, while still giving you most of the same options that you get with the 1000, such as power steering, rear differential lock and unlock, sport, and eco mode. But the one thing that the 800 doesn't come standard with, the 1000 does, is doors. Instead, the 800 has the typical Can-Am safety nets on it, which are still easy enough to use with just a pinch and a pull. Now, jumping up to the 1000 does get you these nice full doors that help keep the elements off you. Of course, it gives you a bigger motor with more horsepower, but do you actually need that extra horsepower? Well, it benefits in two different ways. First way, obviously, is bragging rights. And the second thing, if you are someone that likes to do a lot of deep mudding and wide open country, well then the extra power and torque you get from the 1000 is definitely going to benefit you. Pricing for the Maverick Trail is very reasonable. For your base model 800, pricing starts at right around 11 grand. And for the top of the line 1000 DPS model, you're looking around 14.6. Now, Can-Am makes the maintenance on this guy super easy for you to check. Okay. Checking the oil is as easy as coming here on the passenger side, reaching right here in front of the rear tire, and you have your oil dipstick right here within reach. And checking the air filter is just as easy, again here on the passenger side. You have one quick little panel here, two spin clips you remove, and that gets you right in here to your air filter. Now personally myself, I'd like to see this air filter positioned up maybe a little higher in the machine. And in fact, one thing I noticed is up here where they mounted the coolant reservoir, I thought that'd be a perfect place for it. But you could always snorkel machine if you're someone that likes to ride in the deep water, the deep mud and muck, without too much trouble. And for getting out and hitting the trail all day, you have a really nice sized cargo box here in the back for strapping down any gear you might need. So what are my true thoughts on this? Is this machine enough to make me want to go sell my Pioneer 500 and step into the seat of this for a 50-inch market? Well, there's two things holding me back. One, with the stretch wheelbase, I don't think this would fit in the bed of my truck. And two, my camera person today is actually my wife. And she's shaking her head no, so we may have to wait before I get behind the wheel of one of these on a more permanent basis. So I think Can-Am has done a very intelligent thing here by entering the 50-inch side-by-side market with the Maverick Trail. And I think part of the reason why it took them so long to get here is because they wanted to make sure this machine was absolutely the best it could be. Now unfortunately I'm not able to get this out on a trail yet, but if you guys would like to see me eventually do a ride review on this thing, then make sure you subscribe before you leave, hit that like button, and comment below. Because your support ensures that my channel continues to grow and that I'm able to do more and more with the machines I review. I want to thank Mountain Extreme of Rockton, PA for letting me come in and film this today. If you guys want to go and see what all they have here in stock at Mountain Extreme, then make sure to head over to their website. I'll leave a link to that in my description below, and you can see all the machines they have for you to check out. And until next time, it doesn't matter what you ride or drool over, as long as you ride. So keep on riding. Pinch and a pull out, escape,